Hello y'all, this is The Failed Revolution, a Hearts of Iron 4 mod set in a world where the Americans of the 13 colonies failed to break away from the British. In this video, we are going to play as the country called the Dominion of North America. The brief history of the Dominion of NA goes like this. The years since the revolution of the 1770s have been glorious for the colonies, who have expanded tremendously since their inception. The Dominion of North America stands as the largest nation in the world, stretching from the Northwest Passage to the Caribbean Sea. However, there remains that fierce independent spirit that plagues the nation, one that will possibly engulf it into flames. We have begun, and we start with three national spirits, and they are Legacy of the Stock Market Crash, Jewel of the Crown, and Reliance on the Crown. That last one is the most important, I think, because it means we cannot train, edit, or delete units. And we start, speaking of units, for our army we have 30 divisions, Navy some fleets, Air Force a few air wings, and that's just what we got to deal with for now, because we can't make any more new units. And besides that, moving on, we have two leaders, because this mod uses a special GUI, graphical user interface, for leaders. We have, on the left, we have our Prime Minister, Alban Barkley, who historically was a politician and lawyer who served in both houses of the U.S. Congress and was Vice President under Harry Truman from 1949 to 1953. And on his right is the monarch Edward VIII, and in real life he was the King of the United Kingdom in 1936. The reason his reign didn't last longer is that he abdicated the throne less than 1 year into his control over the UK. It was a whole crisis with it was a divorce and stuff like that really sealed the deal for him, that caused him to abdicate. And we have 3 research slots. Let's go with maybe basic machine tools, construction 1, and electronic mechanical engineering. And looking around the map here in the NA, well, in North America, we have Russia and Alaska. They're there, yeah, the Pan-Slavic Entente. Well, Russia leads that faction. Then to our south is Mexico. And somewhat down south, even more below that, is Cuba and a bunch of Caribbean countries. It's Spain. Well, Spain controls Cuba. Then there's Gran Colombia in South America. Then there's a bunch of smaller Central American countries, although it looks like Nicaragua's not really a thing. Neither is Honduras. Am I looking at the wrong countries? I think this is, yeah, that's Nicaragua. That would have been Honduras, but they don't exist. Well, some variant of Honduras exists, I think. And we are part of the larger British Empire, which includes many countries because it's the British Empire. They have Australasia, which is Australia and New Zealand, probably. Dominion of North America, that's who we're playing as. The Kingdom of Oman. Who else? The British East India Company, British Egypt, the British Malayan Federation, the Kingdom of the Netherlands. They're not a puppet of the UK, but they're part of the faction known as the British Commonwealth. And who else? The British West Indies, British East Africa, British West Africa, British Southwest Africa. How many subjects in Africa do you need? Like separate countries? Whatever. And the Straits Settlements. And they're in... Where are the Straits Settlements? Gibraltar? I don't know where they are. I don't know where the Straits Settlements are. They are... I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know where the Straits Settlements are located. I don't know my geography on that one. And we have a lot of factories. Let's start building some stuff. Build civilian factories. Get all that done. Build that in, well, all over what would be in real life, the United States at this point in 1936. Free military factories. Make some firearms. More equipment. Some fighters. Also get a little bit of close air support, please. A-17s. And actually put only one factory on that. Put more on guns. Unassigned divisions. Let's make a huge army with what we have. Take all these divisions. And they'll be under our best general, who is George Patton. And he'll serve under the Field Marshal Dwight D. Eisenhower. And we start with 2 Field Marshals. One is Eisenhower. One is Douglas MacArthur. There we go. Let's get a second army, actually. That will have 4 divisions in it. Well, actually 6, because we want to have... I don't want Patton's army, Patton's first army, to be over capacity, so let's give that army to the second one to Omar Bradley. That's what we're going to do there. And let's go to the focus tree now. We're going to just stay on the right side of the focus tree. And all we got to really worry about, let's do Pride of the Crown. We just basically will go with Alban Barkley's path, which will essentially just see us go to war with France. That will be inevitable, honestly. And right now we're doing Pride of the Crown. That will take 70 days. Ever since our beginnings, we have been an integral part of the Commonwealth. We cannot simply leave our allies that have stood with us for many years. If this focus isn't completed in time, a rebellion will trigger. And we're doing it right away, so hopefully that counts as on time. Modify government. We have, what can we even modify? What can be modified? What can possibly modify? Never mind, that's just something. The Swedish-Finnish compromise. Recent tensions between the ethnic Finns and their Swedish overlords have led to a discussion of the possibility of a semi-autonomous Finnish state. Okay, what is this about? Oh, there's a semi-autonomous Finland now, who is a subject of Sweden. Yeah. They have the same king, though. Monarch of Sweden, Monarch of Finland, Gustav V. And that's a thing. And it does not look like Germany is united. Big Austria, though. Like Austro-Hungarian Empire is around in 1936 in the failed revolution timeline. In Germany, there is Prussia, Hanover. There is the North German Confederation faction, but the German countries are Prussia, Hanover, Mecklenburg, Schleswig-Holstein. Who else? Duchy of Nassau. Austria withdraws from Italy since the end of the Napoleonic era. What's this about? Coronation of Edward VIII. That's occurred. And the Austrian government has stated that after months of negotiations, a treaty has been signed. Oh, Venice is being granted full independence from the Austrian Empire. Well, from Austria. And they have a generic leader. Okay then, but anyway, next few countries in Germany are the Grand Duchy of Hesse, Bavaria, Württemberg, and the Grand Duchy of Baden. So Germany is sort of divided, and Austria controls a large swath of territory, I would say. Yeah, they're powerful. Let's just leave it at that. Does Russia have any puppets? They have the state of Xinjiang, and who else? Mongolia as their subjects. And they're leading the Pan-Slavic Entente, which includes themselves, their puppets, and the Kingdom of Serbia, and the Tsardom of Bulgaria. Pride of the Crown is done. Now let's do, what can we do? Negotiations with Quebec. The Quebecois have long demanded independence from us. Perhaps we can strike a deal. And from that event, that focus, perhaps, I don't know what's going to happen, but maybe Quebec can become an independent country. We don't technically have a core on Quebec, so that is something that seems like a possibility from out of all the information I have right now, that seems like something that could happen. I'm not really sure if it will, but we'll see. We can select a theorist. Let's get a theorist then. Never mind, I can't find where we get the theorist. Research slot is open. Do mechanical computing. Theorist. Where's the theorist stuff? Theorist. I don't remember where it's at. Okay, whatever. Yeah, don't worry about theorist. Go back to our government though. Can we do anything here? No. Well, we can get a material designer. Possibly. Oh, we can get a theorist here. Let's get George S. Patton. It looks like they're unavailable because they use black and white, which is, I don't know, that's something I had to get used to. Why not go with a mobile warfare expert? Does it look like we're going to have much armored divisions when we have reliance on the crown as a thing? Why did I do that? That was like a knee-jerk thing I should not have done. We got a bunch of dockyards, though. Let's use those for something. And build some convoys, build a few destroyers, get those out there on the sea, and build some submarines. Now let's go ahead and get all of our Navy together, the Atlantic Reserve, get all the American fleet, well, the Dominion of North America, the North American fleet, merge it together. Negotiate with Quebec is done, basic machine tools is done. We're going to make one big, huge fleet, and in the focus tree, let's discuss British investments. We shall discuss the possibility of British investments in our nation. And that means we will get 2 civilian factories in Arkansas, because the British love investing in Arkansas, I guess. And we have an open research slot. Let's do concentrated industry 1. Get that started. So we're doing relatively well right now. Give refuge to French scientists. Sure. I mean, they're Jacobin. The Tsar has died. The Tsar of Russia has died. That's Nicholas II. He's dead. Give refuge to French scientists who, I suppose they don't like them if we're having to give refuge to French scientists. And the French, well, France is known as the French Republic. They lead their own faction, which includes the Dutch. Did the Netherlands leave the British faction? I guess they did, but yeah, they have their own faction, and they lead the Alliance Francois, however you say it, and they're Jacobin in terms of ideology, and Napoleon leads them. Napoleon Bonaparte, well, Louis Napoleon Bonaparte, who is Napoleon VI, if he got coronated, I think. Technology available, well, technology slot open, do excavation 1, and yeah, the Dutch. Wait, no. The Kingdom of the Netherlands. Oh, wait, I think I have a clue. Oh, so the Netherlands is split into, like, the Kingdom of the Netherlands is in the Dutch, what would be usually considered the Dutch East Indies, and then in the Netherlands proper, you have the Dutch Republic, who is a member of the Jacobin faction. And are they fascist? Maybe they are. Okay, they're national populist. Never mind. I'm just used to that logo being used for fascism, though, because specific eagle logo for an ideology is what you usually see in Hearts of Iron 4 for fascist countries. Nation of equals, get that focus done. Nation of equals goes like this. Quebec is an integral part of our nation, and they will be treated as equals. Gain core in Quebec and on St. Lawrence, and from that I can tell that Quebec will not become its own country. But we will get a core on that part of North America, and that means we no longer have to deal with resistance, which didn't really exist in the first place, because look at this occupation. Discompliance strength, it's absurd. Insufficient resources, get some rubber from the Netherlands, who's basically the Dutch East Indies. They have tons of rubber, because Indonesia, well, what would be today's Indonesia as of recording this video, they would have tons of rubber in vanilla Hearts of Iron 4. And any other strange things going on in the world? Let's look around, see what everything looks like. China is divided, as in most Hearts of Iron 4 mods, Play 4 mods. India is also divided. I mean, the British East Indian Company is a thing. And there is the Maratha Empire, which exists. Also, the Nizam of Hyderabad, the Kingdom of Mysore. And those are independent Indian countries, as well as the Nawab of Sindh. Is that the Kingdom of Sindh, basically? What a portrait that is. He's just holding a gun in his nice photo, with that photo there. And then there's the Sikh Empire, and then there's the Durrani Empire. Where else? What else can we look at? Arabia is not really, well, what would be Saudi Arabia in our 1936 in our timeline. It's not there. They're just Nijd and Jabal Shamar. And they just share. They just have to work. They're neighbors with one another. And in our focus tree, let's do greater rights for British companies. And this means, this focus says, the British companies can provide us with investment and economic growth if we are willing to provide a few concessions. And from this, we will unlock investment decisions, which I hope will be useful. Some military factories have been built. Let's make some more weapons, some more infantry equipment, some more M1 Garands. And for our preparations of eventually invading the French, let's move a ton of our troops over to England. That's where all of the military, all of the army of the Dominion of North America is just going to be stationed for now. Let's also take our navy, merge all these ships together, get that done. And the Atlantic Fleet, give them a commander, Ernest King. You're going to be in the English Channel, essentially. Just hang out there and help out the British Navy when the time comes. With this Navy that consists of only submarines and destroyers. Wow, the American Navy in this timeline is really, it's lacking something. Let's just say that. They don't have no aircraft carriers or battleships. And the British are going to give us Lend-Lease for some reason. I guess they want to lower our autonomy, I suppose. And that is a thing they will try to do. Let's get radio researched. Also go to our infantry, the infantry tab in the research tree. Get Bars and Stokes mortar. They gave us Lend-Lease and they canceled it. UK, I don't understand your plans, but you do you. That's just great. And what are our British overlords doing in their focus tree? Job Creation Act. I am not really sure what the British are doing. I'm a little concerned, to be honest. They're going to have the Imperial Conference soon enough. British recovering and demilitarization of the colonies. Okay, does that mean we'll not be reliant on the crown anymore? I'm not complaining if that happens, because we can actually make an army. Make a huge army if that happens. And in our focus tree, let's do whole Dominion elections. And from that, we'll get an event which will cause elections to be held. And judging from the focuses that will come after that, we'll have Richard Nixon versus Alban Barkley, who is the current Prime Minister. We will be keeping Alban Barkley and his chuckling portrait here. Research slot available. Let's do maybe Construction 2, because it's a 1937 classified as a 1937 year tech, and it just hit 1937. Revolution in Mexico. Okay then, so Zapata has announced a socialist revolution in Mexico. This is the second state to fall under socialist control, following the Patagonian Workers' Front. Britain allows us to, our friends in the crown have allowed us to rearm. Okay then, so we're no longer reliant, okay, we're still reliant on the crown. Kolchak's Far East coup. Alexander Kolchak, a former Imperial Russian admiral, has seized control of the Russian Pacific coast. He claims to be in opposition to the new Republican government, but doesn't support the loyalists gathering in the Far East. What is he planning? And this looks like something like you'd see in Kaiserreich or Kaiser Redux, and that's Transmir, because it's even being led by Alexander Kolchak, the same guy, Far East Naval Administration, located in East Asia there. And Russia is no longer a monarchy, apparently. Yeah, they're a republic. They have the Russian Duma in charge for now. So there could possibly be some political upheaval there in that nation in the future. And let's go to the Mexican People's Republic. Yes, Zapata's there, Emiliano Zapata. He's leading the Mexican People's Republic. And down in South America, that event mentioned the Patagonian Workers' Front. Okay, forget it then. The election has occurred. It's here. The election for Parliament this year has left us with two major candidates for Prime Minister, Alban Barkley and Richard Nixon. Can't believe Richard Nixon is a candidate in a world where the British beat the Americans in the American Revolution. Anyway, Alban Barkley's Labour Party will gain a majority, and Alban Barkley, the focus has been automatically completed in our focus tree. Now let's do scientific refuge. America has long served as a refuge for those fearing persecution, and it will continue that legacy. The Dutch and the French fleeing their repressive regimes, we shall provide them a destination. Whatever. And from this, we'll get a national spirit and a research slot, which will bring us to 4 research slots. And it looks like besides controlling parts of what was Russian Siberia, Kolchak has seized Alaska. And that is a little different from Kaiserreich, I will say. Adding on to my statement from earlier there. And let's take a look at Argentina, who is in a war. I didn't realize that. The Kazakhstan People's Army declared war on the Alash Orden Republic. That's going on in Central Asia. What is going on in Russia? Stuff is not going well there. Jacobin Ordering Republic in Kazakhstan is fighting, yeah, the Kazakhstan People's Republic. There's Turkestan here. They exist. Pretty big Turkestan. Wow. And Jacobins versus Socialists. I don't know what the Russians have to think of all that, but they have bigger issues at this time. And let's check in on the Patagonian Workers' Front, Argentina, essentially. And they are fighting, well, they're part of the Socialist International faction, which only consists of themselves, despite the name. They are taking on Bolivia, Brazil, and Chile, which I think has been completely occupied by Argentina. Yes, it has. Research slot available. Let's do maybe interwar artillery. That will be started. Do our units even use artillery? I have research slots available. What am I doing? I need to be using that. Using stuff more. Theorist. Let's go through victory. No, that's not right. Superior firepower expert. You have Omar Bradley. That will work for us. Let's get a Standard Oil of California for industrial concern, just to boost the industrial research speed. Industrial research tech. Well, industrial tech will now be researched faster, and that's what we want. Scientific refuge will be done in about 20 days. Radio has just gone done. Well, the research on the radio has. Ukraine declared war on Novorossian Liberation Front. Russia is just falling apart, isn't it? It seems like it. And concentrated industry too. Let's start that technology research. Yeah, there's Ukraine's fighting. Jacobin Ukraine is fighting the Novorossian Liberation Front, who is non-aligned. And it looks like Belarus is also independent. I think they were part of the Russian Empire not too long ago, but that doesn't matter now. And will things get worse for Russia? Maybe. Also, the Silk-Rossian Republic is a thing, being led by a guy who I think... Is that the fascist leader of the... potential... Is he? Whatever. Anyway, a possible fascist leader of the Soviet Union in Vanilla Hearts of Iron 4, or at least he was before No Step Back. Anyway, he has a top hat now in his portrait, which is an interesting look, to say the least. And in our focus tree, let's do economic reforms. And this says one of Albin's great promises were economic reforms, promises he should deliver on. So Albin Barkley is going to have his economic reforms, which will give us consumer good factories minus 5% and construction speed plus 5%. And those bonuses will come in the form of a useful national spirit. Research slot available. That fourth research slot is now there. Let's do improved machine tools, modify officer corps. And what can we do with this? Add advisor. What can we do with this at all? Chief of Air Force. Let's go with maybe, I guess, Henry Arnold, who's an air reformer, and his air EXP boost will be useful to us. And the Russian Civil War is taking place. Russia is really just being scarred and battered, isn't it? Just being beaten up. And it is the Russian Loyalist Army versus the Russian Army. Well, Russian Republic, yeah. That's what that is. So I guess the Russian Loyalists was that monarchist contingent that was rising up in the Far East, well, in Siberia earlier. That was mentioned in that Kolchak seizes parts of Siberia event, which feels like ages ago, but that happened. And construction 2 is done. Was Transcaucasia a country before? Maybe it was. Anyway, research slot available. Do excavation 2. And I wonder who will win. Will it be the Russian Loyalist Army or the Russian Republic? Even though the Russian Loyalist Army controls a lot of land, a lot of that territory is, well, in Siberia. And to be honest, compared to some parts of European Russia, they don't really have the manpower advantage there, despite their huge amount of territory. Siberia they don't have the numbers, I think. So the Caucasus, the Russian Republic is pushing on 2 fronts. And it's not looking too good for the Russian Loyalist Army at this time. And let's go to our available planes in the reserve. Put them out somewhere in an airfield. Please. There we go. Are these carrier planes? Why am I making carrier fighters? Whatever. That'll be useful for something, maybe. What am I doing wrong? I need to stop making carrier fighters. Make normal fighters. P-1 Hawks, please. Tons of them. I like carrier fighters, but let me just disband these air wings. We don't even have carriers. And I was making carrier fighters. Whatever. That's just something I had to deal with. And in our focus tree, let's do anti-Jacobin crusade. And we cannot sit idle while the Jacobins grow in strength. And what else does that say? The Jacobins grow in strength. We must fight back. And this will add to us a new national spirit called anti-Jacobins crusade, which will give us an attack bonus against France. And what is the French Republic even doing at this time? They're existing. They're just there, I guess. I think that's the best way to describe their situation. And it looks like the Austrian Empire is sort of decentralized. We have Austria, led by Karl I still. There's Kingdom of Bohemia. Okay, they're all puppets of Austria. There is Slovakia, Croatia, Principality of Transylvania, Poland. They're a puppet of Austria. Research slot available. Let's do improved infantry equipment 1. Get that started. No national focus selected. I mean, we should be doing anti-Jacobin crusade. I guess it didn't start it by accident. I didn't hit it. Didn't hit the button for it. And how is this war going in Central Asia? Seems to be a stalemate, I think. What's all the wars going on in the world? We have Brazil and Argentinian war. Brasilia is moving pretty well. Argentina is doing relatively well. Did they always control Uruguay? I guess they did. I guess they controlled that since the start of the war. Wow. So they defeated Chile. Now they got to take on Bolivia and Brazil. Brazil has tons of manpower, and that is going to be a challenge for Argentina to deal with. Just dealing with Brazil's military. I wonder if there's going to be a Spanish Civil War soon. I don't know. We'll see. Research slot available. Let's do M1917 Browning, MG, and M2 60mm mortar. Get that done. And it looks like the Russian Loyalist Army is losing more ground. The Russian Republic is getting pretty close, I will say. They're going to be just outside of the Russian Loyalist Army's capital, which is Yekaterinburg, which is not a good situation for the Russian Loyalists to be in. And does the Russian Republic have a leader right now that is in the Duma? They do not. Maybe they can only get a leader once the Civil War is done. And we just finished researching something. Now let's do what? What can we get? Let's get, no, that ain't gonna work. Plane tech. P-40 Warhawk, that is 1936 era fighter plane. Research we can do, so we'll get P-40 Warhawks from now on, and we will no longer have to get P-1 Hawks and a bunch of carrier fighters. Anti-Jacobin crusade is nearly complete, and sooner or later we will attack France. And let's do naval armament now. Our navy needs expansion and advancement, or it will become outmatched. To be honest, we're going to have to really rely on the British fleet to carry us in the war with the French, which I'm counting on them to actually do that for us, honestly. Decisions available. Oh yeah, that investment decision stuff. I just remember that. Developed aluminum. I guess, do we have those before? Prospect for resources. Oh, concessions to British companies. And factory development. For 100 political power, we get one off-map civilian factory in 20 days. The Kingdom of Sardinia-Piedmont declared war on the Duchy of Parma. The Italian wars have begun, and it looks like Sardinia-Piedmont, who does have a focus tree, they're aiming to possibly unite Italy. Parma and Lucca were defeated relatively fast. I guess they had no divisions at all. They just went down so quickly. That's ridiculous. Let's go ahead and set up a naval invasion order. Let's use Dover. Set up a naval invasion order for some ports in France and just have the initiative there. Come on. Oh, do we not even have the technology? I guess we don't. That is awkward. Let's get naval transports as soon as possible. Excavation 2 is done. Let's start doing... We have transports. What's the deal then? We can't use them? That's weird. I just can't do it? They just can't. That's strange. That's very strange. Research slot available. Let's start researching, I don't know, damage control, firefighting drills in the naval part of the research tree. Civilian factories are available. Let's complete. Let's build a bunch of military factories for our upcoming war with the French. And I'm a little concerned that we can't make naval invasion orders. I don't know why that is, but we just can't. We just can't do it. I don't know why. We just can't. It needs to be an individual army. What am I thinking? Going crazy. And let's set this order up. No. 5 divisions will land in, say, naval armament is done. 5 divisions will aim to take Dunkirk. And 5 divisions will leave Dover. The Dixie Division, Red Bull, Santa Fe, and Indian Head divisions, and the Texas Division will go for, yep, they'll go for that city and try to land at that port. And that's going to be set up now, which will make us prepared for the fight with the French. Let's inspect the strength of the French Republic, shall we? Well, their military strength, Intel Ledger. They have up to 158 divisions in the army. That's a little troublesome, I will say, if we fight them. Navy is... I don't think they can beat the British Navy, but it is pretty tough. I mean, they are a major power, so that can't be too surprising. Air Force. They have something resembling an Air Force. I mean, with the numbers they're putting up there, that seems to be quite powerful. I mean, like 21k manpower in the field for an Air Force. That at least implies a minimum... I don't know, that's going to be a lot of planes. No national focus set. Let's do nation at arms. No matter if they approve or not, our citizens are going to war. They must be prepared for the great crusade ahead. And one thing I have considered... Okay, never mind. Wait, we just request the UK to start the intervention, the anti-French intervention? Does that mean the UK can just deny all this huge buildup we're doing? Whatever. Oh, and it looks like, I guess the Russian Loyalist Army took Alaska away from the Far East Naval Administration. It's a loss there for Kolchak. How's the Russian Loyalist Army doing? Well, they've lost the Caucasus region, well, the Northern Caucasus region, and they're going to probably eventually be, their capital is going to fall any day now. Great. Just great. Well, at least it's not us. And where is the Straits Settlement? I mean, I might as well look for that. United Kingdom, Straits Settlement, Approved Infantry Equipment 1 is done. Let's do... The United Kingdom declared war on Ireland for some reason. Don't know why. They just wanted to invade Ireland. We'll help them out because we have a lot of troops in England at this time. Let's do Computing Machine. Free dockyards. Well, we have some dockyards available. Let's make some Porpoise-class submarines. And, man, that's a rapid invasion of Ireland. Does Ireland not even have divisions? Tom Berry there. And we've been called in to help with... That's a little overkill. That you already occupy, like, half of the country. Whatever, let's give them 6 divisions and march into Ireland, I guess. So, 2nd Army, you know what to do. March into Ireland. Go help the British. We still have reliance on the British Crown? Yes, we do. That's a problem, because we can't make this army bigger. We have... Oh, my goodness. Where are the Straits Settlements? I'm just going to have to click on... I'm going to have to just find out. I need to know! Where are the Straits Settlements? They are in... somewhere. Not over here. Not in North America. Where are they? I am looking around. This does not look like a strait. Where is the Straits Settlements? I'm going to have to get a straitjacket on if I can't find this country. You get what I mean? Okay, that's a terrible joke. And where is... I don't know. I genuinely do not know where the Straits Settlements are. It sounds vaguely familiar, but I just don't know where they're located. Oh, they're down here. Oh, it's Singapore. Okay. Wow, it's Singapore. Okay, that's the Straits Settlements. Research slot available. And let's do maybe fire control method. That doesn't even, not going to matter. We don't even have a navy. I mean, battleships or capital ships in general. Let's do magnetic mine. At least our ships can probably lay mines if they have to. Nation at arms is done. And it looks like the Irish have mobilized some divisions. Have we lost? Okay, we control Dublin still. Good. And let's try to advance onto the Irish capital of Cork. Get that done. P-40 Warhawk. Research is complete. Advance on the holdouts of the Irish Army. Outdated equipment in production. Let's make P-40 Warhawks now. We have tons of weapons at this point. Just wanted to say that. Let's do war with France. We shall negotiate with the British and seek direct intervention against the French. I really hope the British don't deny us our intervention. And let's send these troops over to Dover. Get that done. This naval invasion will be ready to go immediately. These two naval invasions on Dunkirk and Dieppe will be ready to go as soon as a conflict breaks out. I'm really wondering if the British can just deny our war with the French. I will laugh if that happens. That would be ridiculous, but to be honest, I will not be surprised. And industry, let's do synthetic oil experiments. Get that done. I wonder if we can get rid of reliance on the British Crown, that national spirit. Can we do that? I guess we can. Oh, that's the... Okay, never mind. Never mind. What is this? The ideological juggernauts? Oh, we can't do any of this because we're still part of the British... We're still under British control. We can't do any of this part of the focus tree. Expand Nama. Conference of London. Oh, we gotta do part of a focus... We gotta do like a focus tree thing to get rid of the reliance on the British Crown national spirit. Why did I not do that? Whatever. That's what I get for rushing political related stuff. Oh well. If we get our war with the French, I'll do something about rearming our country and get rid of that reliance on the British Crown national spirit. And Sardinia Piedmont they've gone to war with the Grand Duchy of Tuscany, who are actually putting up quite a fight. They pushed back they repelled a few divisions of Sardinia Piedmont, it seems. I think they did. They're still holding on to their capital in Florence. And we'll see if Sardinia Piedmont succeeds in their war or not, maybe. Or it could become a stalemate, I don't know. Florence is under attack, and Sardinia Piedmont is advancing again, so they'll probably have a victory, frankly. When is this focus done? War with France will be done relatively soon. 3 days, 2 days, 1 day. There we go. What would the British say? Let's go ahead and start this here. British decline intervention. The British government has stubbornly refused to get involved against the French. Okay, so for the record, my entire plan to fight the French and the ultimate conclusion to the American mission with the anti-Jacobin crusade and this possible war with France has been shot down by the British. And on that anticlimactic note, I'm going to end this video here. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe. You can check out the Failed Revolution in the video description. The link to the mod is there.